everybody. Thanks for sticking around. I'm Patrick Sheridan, and I'm here live at the 2015 University of Illinois SuperState Concert Band Festival, and I'm here with the director of the Marion Junior High School Band, Mr. Jim Childers. Thanks for being here. Good to see you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming out. Love the program today. How did it go? Was everybody happy?
I think so. You know, we've been up here a few times, and we've had some years where the nerves took a little bit of our clarity out, I guess you'd say. We'd walk away feeling like we had done it a little bit better somewhere else. But today I felt like we were pretty close to what we've heard when we've done it at our best. So I think everybody was satisfied.
That's great. That's great. It looked like a lot of happy faces down there that were digging on the big hall and that. So what do you do for the ones that haven't come to a place like this and played in a big, huge hall like that, in a big space like that before, when they see it for the first time?
Well, you know, it's that ensemble that played today. It's mainly 8th graders, maybe about 15 7th graders, and I have good leadership, and so a lot of the 8th graders have talked about their SuperState experience from the year before, and of course we just played a fairly large festival in Chicago a few weeks ago, so that kind of got them used to the nerves of being on stage. But I have good leaders and good hardworking kids, and so, you know, being well prepared when you show up somewhere is the best way to fight the nerves. But
Sure.
It's still intimidating.
Absolutely. I know it's a big space in there, but I also know, having played on this stage before here at Cranor, that it's a lovely space. It's fun to play.
Yes, it's outstanding. For a guy who plays concerts in a gymnasium, this is excellent. Yes.
So we were talking during the break, but tell me, so the viewers know, so you've been at Marion Junior High now for, this is the end of the 13th
finishing
year, right?
my 13th year, yes.
Right, and then prior to that, you've spent 11 years, something
11
like
years.
that. 11 years in high school band director, right?
Yes,
And
high
where
school
was that?
director. I was 5 years at Highland High School, and then before that I was 5 years at Mount Vernon High School, which is also in Southern Illinois. And then my first year out of college, I was in a rural farming community west of Peoria for a year.
And where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Marion, Illinois, so
You did.
I'm back home.
You're back home. That's
Yes.
right. That's got to be pretty fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. When I first came back to teach at Marion, there were still teachers that I had had as a student in the building. Of course, I'm old enough now that I only see them as a substitute teacher when they come back. So, now some of my students are showing up as teachers in the building. So
Yeah. I just noticed Bill Bitters, a great orchestra director, high school orchestra director in Arizona, and his son just graduated from the University of Arizona and got a job at a high school in Tucson, and I thought, well, that's not, you know, my kids are in junior high, and it's going to be like a blink, and that's going to be happening. You know,
it goes quickly.
Really quick. So tell us about what's happening for the band now the rest of the year. We've got some.
Well,
I'm sure busy, huh?
we have our biggest things behind us now. We had just played a festival in the Chicago area just a few weeks ago, and we'll have 3 concerts next Friday, and then from there we'll kill some time until the end of the school year.
Slide gently into the assessment period known as finals, right? Well, that's great. What was the festival that you were at last week?
We were at a Festivals of Music, which is closely associated with the Music in the Parks Company. But we were at their festival, which was out in Palatine and the Schaumburg area.
Oh yeah, wow. And where did you guys get to play when you played out there?
There was Harper College is in Palatine. They had a very nice auditorium. It was a good acoustical place to play at.
Nice.
And they did their awards ceremony at Medieval Times, which is always a good time. Yes.
Perfect for junior high. So tell me about the program and how you came up with, you know, why you wanted to play what you played today.
Well, you know, as I listen to music, I have a lot of the CDs that are put out from GIA publications. I listen to a lot of the military service band recordings. I listen to what a lot of university groups are doing. I have a lot of recordings of U of I bands over the years. But I'll have a list of pieces in the back of my mind that I want to do. And as I'm picking music for the next year, I kind of evaluate where our strengths are probably going to be and where our weaknesses are going to be. And so from there, I kind of look at that list in the back of my brain, and I think, you know, this is the year we're going to do that piece, and this is the year that we're going to do that piece. I've loved these pieces. I'm a big fan of Robert Sheldon's music. We actually are going to have a commission of his in 2017.
Really?
Yes, and so we'll be premiering one of his new works. So I love Sheldon stuff. We play a lot of that. And then I just stumbled onto the Michael Orr piece, Pathways.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of that composer, but as I listened to that piece and did some score study, I thought it was very, very clever how he played some rhythmic games within the piece, but it was also very enjoyable to listen to and to play. So from there, it just kind of came together.
Well, it's a nice program. Really appreciated that. I always like what Bob does with his melodies, and he scores it so it always sounds full and lush. And,
yes.
But I didn't know Michael's work before, and I really appreciated that. I was going to say right at the end of that those of you that are viewing this that are currently in undergrad, music educator, and are heading out into the world, the words that just came out of Mr. Childers' mouth about how he picks his program and when he did it and how he does it was, I think, super important because I think right at the moment where you feel like you've crested spring break and you're a first-year teacher and you're not thinking about all the way through the next year, and a veteran music educator has already planned out the season for next year, and there's a lot of projection and that you have to put into what you're planning so that so it's far enough out so there's something to work on.
Right.
And it showcases the strengths that you're going to have. So there's really sage advice that just tumbled out of your mouth as a matter of like, well, this is how I do business. But for those of you that are watching that are young music educators, that was it in a nutshell. So how about that in sort of my last question before we think about talking about this next band that's coming up. Excuse me. So you've been doing this for 24 years, right? And so I'm coming out, and I did a good job with my music undergrad in education, and I spent some time at a good junior high and a good beginning program and a good high school program, and then I'm showing up and I'm going to be your assistant, and I'm green. What do I got to know? What are the you're suddenly now a music supervisor for Marion, and so this is like what are the things that I got to get ready between when I graduated and walked and when I'm going to come see you in the fall?
Well, I mean, there's so many elements that to have a successful band program that have to come together, and some of those things will be outside of a person's control, but trying to gather as many tools, as many tricks as you can, learn from everyone that you can, especially as a young director. Don't be lacking in humility to where you can't ask teachers in neighboring communities what they think of doing it this way, doing it that way. As a veteran teacher, I pick up bits of information from student teachers, so I think it's just steal tricks from everybody, and the people skills are very important. Getting along with your fellow teachers, and finding a way to motivate students and parents of students, I think those are essential as well. Yeah,
a lot of incoming when you get started in this kind of profession. Well, I heard some applause behind me. Dave, what's it look like? We have some folks entering the stage? That's great. So coming up here after the break, which is now, we have Field Middle School from Northbrook, Illinois, under the direction of Mike Miller. And we've just spent a little bit of time talking to Jim Childers from Marion Junior High School. Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Words of wisdom, and congrats to your band.
No problem. Thanks
again.
Good luck
today. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks so much for coming out.